Hi everyone, my name is Armin Isranian. I'm the project coordinator for our voice project. In ALLFIE in our work, we recognize that disabled young people experience even more marginalization, and their voices have been ignored in any policy made for COVID responses to this disability.
Intersectionality looks at the whole person, all the different identities and characteristics that make up who we are. For example, I am not just disabled. I am also many other things. Hearing everyone's unique perspectives really exemplified the importance of looking at people as a whole.
I learned that intersectionality isn't exclusive to being, say, somebody who isn't white and somebody who's disabled, but it can also exist within the disabled community.
Often it's seen as a very complex idea, and it is hard to kind of break down, and sometimes it can also come across a bit daunting too. Which later also helped with recognizing which groups of people are targeted because of it and which aren't. Because to have these open-ended conversations with other young people where we have a lot more like common ground, whether it's experiences or interests, it's not something that I think that we have enough of.
It stopped me from being able to meet up with and invite a moment in other countries. To have equal rights and to be able to have control and be able to make your own choices. It's allowed me to talk more people, to more people in bigger groups. It's also allowed to allow me to be a bit more confident.
I'm in big bands and things where I play flute and saxophone, and most of the bands had to stop, and only half of them, out of the 6-7 bands I'm in, went to online rehearsals, which was a challenge, and that made my mental health take a dip.
What was my experience around COVID? The university started seemingly pretending everything was fine and dandy, right as rain and hunky-dory, but then it gradually became apparent that a one-size-fits-all model of education doesn't work. I also went into lockdown prior to others, and the onus sort of fell on me to obtain my own materials and coordinate my own education, because I was shielding, as I think Remy touched upon before. So that was a very difficult experience and sort of relates to the bureaucratic burden that is often placed on disabled students. And definitely, finally, I think we ought to retain recorded lectures even after the COVID pandemic properly subsides.
So my name's Justine Jones, and I work for ALLFIE as the Inclusion Champions Development Worker. And what I do is I work with disabled people's organisations around capacity building. And we also work with young disabled people as well around capacity building.
The Our Voice project has helped strengthen our voices as disabled young people by allowing us to collaborate and discuss problems that we face and to challenge the societal norms together. As our voices can often go unheard, since we don't always have the expertise needed to get our point across. I would like to share with DPOs the importance of not just asking disabled young people for their input, but actually listening.
Firstly, this may be an unorthodox answer, but I don't really see any reason why an organisation which hasn't interacted, engaged with young people formally before should feel that they can't do that. Everybody knows some young people in their lives, and the proportion of disabled people in the UK is actually quite high. So if you look through your informal networks, you will probably find some young disabled people somewhere. So you can always converse with them first to preliminarily establish what you should be looking at or what kind of project you want to develop.
And also, like to say, everyone knows a young person somewhere along the lines, and disabled young people have the same interests as non-disabled young people.
What I'd love to see more of is, kind of engaging with people in very almost mainstream ways. Like we see things like Instagram and social media and Snapchat. I mean, I only use some of these, I don't use all of these, but we know that's where a lot of young people be, let alone young disabled people too. That's something that I want to see more, and some DPOs have done this, and it's been really, really good.
I think it's important for young people to get involved with the work of DPOs, because that is your future.
I think it's also important because how can we expect the disabled movement to continue to thrive, flourish, and sustain itself if young people don't get involved?
And I think that is what has impressed me, just seeing disabled people living normal lives.
And it's the fact that normality has some exposure, which is impressive, isn't it? The idea that normality is portrayed rather than some extraordinary feat in itself, that's remarkable, which it shouldn't be, but it is.